Welcome to Harlow Television. I'm Claire Harrison, and today on this beautiful July day in 2013 we are at the Gatehouse Arts Open Studios. Gatehouse Arts is situated in the heart of Harlow town and has 37 new and emerging artists. Let's go and meet some of them. I'm now joined by Claire Jones, artist and illustrator. Thank you for speaking to us at Harlow TV, Claire. Could you tell me how long you've been here at Gatehouse Arts?
I've been here from just after when we first had the studios, so about 3 years now. I used to have this whole space to myself, but I share now with another lady who does photography, so it's quite nice to have a bit of banter going with another artist.
Yeah, your stuff is beautiful as well. It's very feminine. I really like it. How do you promote yourself? I've got
a Facebook page and Twitter. I'm quite big on social media. I think that's the way forward, and I do it for Gatehouse as well, for the gallery. So we've got a website for the gallery, and we've got Facebook and Twitter for the gallery. So that's generally, I think, the way forward, and that's how I get my work for myself as well.
Lovely. So if somebody wanted to rent a space here, who was an up-and-coming artist, what is the process they'd have to go through?
Well, we're charity funded by an organisation called Gatehouse. So first of all, you have to register with them and get membership to them, which is of quite low cost, and then they would advise you which spaces were available on their website here. So it's all done via them, and then you would just come down and get your keys and have your studio.
That's lovely, because not many people know about this, and there are lots of artists around and they sort of say, oh, I don't know where to start. So it's a lovely space, isn't it?
Yeah, we run exhibitions a couple of times a year that tries to involve the public in Harlow to sort of submit their work. So we've got a postcard exhibition coming up in October that's going to be for the public to submit work to, that we normally work with St Clair's Hospice to raise money for that. We did it last year. So things like that are a good opportunity for people that maybe have never had their work in a gallery before. We've got this space here within Harlow that we can help promote their work. So
because wasn't the council going to shut this down, or was there sort of talking something like that? And
they've actually said we've helped with the regeneration of this part of the town just by us being here, because obviously there's a lot of closed down shops and things. So it's just something a little bit different that you wouldn't expect to maybe find here, that sort of brightens it up a little bit. So
your work is beautiful, though. I'd love that one. It's just so feminine and just it's gorgeous. Do you do sort of like life drawing here?
We used to run life drawing here, but it's just a bit of a problem with funding, as with anything, that we don't actually do it anymore. But obviously it's always something that could start again if there's interest and people pay to fund it, then great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So is that something Gatehouse Arts is looking for, like more funding?
Always. Yeah.
So are you not lottery funded?
No, we've had a bit of money in the past from various organisations, but we are actually in the process of applying for funding at the moment. But as with everything, there's a lot of people that want from the same pot, so we'll see.
I think it'll work. I think it's a nice energy when you walk in, because there's other energies around it. There's, things going around the town which are quite negative, and you come in here and it's really light, and the energy's just really light-hearted.
Will come, say, into our exhibitions downstairs and say, we never knew this was here. We've been here a few years now, so it's always good that you find new people and we've got another site around the corner in Eastgate, which is we've got a lot more footfall, so we're hoping with that it will promote what we're doing here as well. So.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, Claire. Thank you. Right, so who can we speak to next? Let's have a look. I wonder who's in number 20. Let's have a look. Hello, would you like to speak to us at Harlow Television about what you do here as an artist? What's your name, please, sir?
Paul Harrison.
It's Paul Harrison. I've never met this man before in my life. He's my dad, look. I look like him. That's where I get it from. Anyway, let's pretend I don't know you. So what do you do here, Paul, Dad?
I take pictures. I've been here about 12 months. It's been my hobby. I've worked in photography for a few years in the past. It was something I wanted to do when I retired, and it's now materialised. Due to the people here at Gatehouse Arts.
Yeah.
It's been a really interesting year.
Okay, that's good. I like your colours here, your backdrop.
Well, I've been in this particular studio for about 3 months now. I did start off in a larger studio, but this one is just mine. I actually work both ends. That is basically, believe it or not, a black end. This is a coloured end. And it makes the studio more versatile.
Okay, I wouldn't understand it because I haven't got an artist's mind, but I'm sure that lots of photographers out there would understand.
Yeah.
Right, shall I? I might have my photo taken. Let's see. So, if you wanted to offer your services, how do you promote yourself?
I've got a website, which is paulpics.co.uk. I can be contacted through there. I've got a Facebook page, and again a link through the website. Word of mouth, really.
Okay.
It's there is only me here. I do get enough work to keep me busy, and after all, it's really more a hobby than a living. It's a nice way to make a living.
Yeah, because you do families as well, don't you? Like children and babies.
Yeah. I shoot children. Yeah, there's a few need shooting.
I need shooting.
But I've even done pets up here. Aww. Occasionally.
Cats. Have you done cats? Oh. Oh, let's just have a look at what you do, and I'll be a model for Toby Jugs. Or something.
There's a couple of examples here. The last open studio that we did, I did have an awful lot more examples, but the picture the camera's looking at now is young Katie Brown. She's a friend of mine's daughter. She was 8 years old when that was taken, and she was a little star. She needed no direction. She's just a natural at having a photo taken. This lady Alice here, she's a regular model up here. She's she's very, very versatile, lovely girl, really a good friend. We could do you if you wanted.
I don't think I'd look like that, really, to be honest. Bit old now, but let's have a look. It's very sweaty here today. Ooh! I haven't got long legs, as you can see. I have the short jean, but let's be a model for the day. Unfortunately, I don't have a makeup artist, as you can see.
You've got lipstick on your teeth.
Oh, how gorgeous! And I went out last night and got in at 4. Oh well.
Right, let's just shift that. Yeah. All I'm doing here is just a simple lighting setup. And it's
Oh. Wow, what's that noise?
we like to keep it flowing.
Do you like people to move around? How from a photographer's point of view, what do you...
I like each shot to be different.
Okay.
And you tend to get into a bit of a rhythm, particularly with that banging.
Yeah, that's lovely. Can I try that on, please? Have you got props? Because there's lots of props here, and I'm going to go for... There's lots of things here. So if you want to come along and dress up, like, it's really good. There's like hats and boxing gloves, and I've gone for this. I'm going to put it on because I look like Hiawatha, apparently, whoever she was or he was. How does it work? Ooh. Wow. And it's boiling hot. I think you'd need the right costume on as well, but I quite like that. Anyway, yes, telling me to wind up. Thank you very much for speaking to Harlow Television. This has been Claire Harrison and Paul Harrison in Studio 20. So do come along and have a shoot. And thank you very much for talking to us.
All right. Thank you, darling.
Bye.
Yeah. What's for tea?
I don't know. Probably something in the teepee.
All right.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. I'm now in 14B in Gatehouse Arts, joined by Fiona Bennett. Thank you for speaking to Harlow Television.
That's okay, thank you very much.
What work do you do here?
I look at the town and city centres and the changes that are happening within them, and then I document and record them and represent them in different ways. So one of the prime examples that a lot of people remember is Woolworths. Woolworths was part of the town centre.
Yeah.
They enjoyed looking at it because various ladybirds was part of the clothing that they looked at. Sweets, some children used to go in and take the odd sweet within and try and get out of it. Yes, and all sorts of things like that. That's now disappeared and gone. Yeah. But I've documented some of the images, like this one here.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, I remember that.
So that I can represent them in different ways. And some more behind you.
What's this here
this
as well?
one.
Is that some? I like this. It reminds me of being at a rave.
I've been playing with that.
I like the colours.
Work in process, I think, is probably the best way of describing that.
Yeah. What's it going to be? Is it like a sort of?
It's like a lot of artists, you play around and you come back to them and sort of do it. The one behind you is the same way. It's an extension of something I had at the Royal Academy last year in London. That was the piece that was in the Royal Academy.
Oh, lovely. Is that Liverpool Street Station?
It's in. I went around Eastern Europe. I did a trip from Budapest going round to Istanbul.
Okay.
And I was looking at the changes that were happening. And as you went round by rail, the eye of the city was the only thing that was steadfast, that remained, that stayed there. And it recorded and documented. It was like watching what was happening, hence the kind of shape is like an eye of the city. And that was the top of the railway station.
Wow.
So it gives an idea of that.
You can imagine being there as well, looking at that, the way you do that.
But I had a body of work which went with that. A lot of the railway line passed down the back streets, as a lot of railway lines do. And you could see what was happening to the people and also to the buildings. I tend to focus on the architecture rather than people within my work. And a lot of buildings were still there, but it was just literally the bricks of the buildings. How they stayed up, I have no idea. And the government couldn't afford to knock them down, so they would then build next door to it. And you would find not just one person working on the railway line, you 4, 5 people there, so they'd all congregate on the stations. And it was just a fascinating thing to document and record. And then I reproduced a whole body of work, an exhibition of work, which I had in Cambridge.
Excellent.
For that
so
as well.
You've done a lot of exhibitions.
I've done a few exhibitions. I only qualified as a mature student in 2010. So to actually get into the Royal Academy,
well done,
in 2 years, I think is fairly good going.
Wow.
But like a lot of artists here, we're trying to market ourselves, and that's the hardest part. So
how do you market yourself? Do you use social networking sites or?
That is a good question, because there's such a variety of artists and so much processing and different ways that you can approach it. I mean, my work is probably geared towards galleries.
Okay.
Other artists are probably making bags and things, as you might have seen the lady with the sheets. So that's a different way of going across to it. Somebody else would do performance art, and that can be based in several different areas. It's just massive. Just massive.
Oh, it's lovely work, and it's a lovely little space you've got here as well. It's very light and airy. I bet it's nice to get away and.
It is. It is nice to come. Yes,
be on your own.
Yeah, it's nice to have a space to yourself where you can come in and just concentrate and shut the door.
Yeah, I bet that's lovely.
This piece of work is the one which is downstairs in the gallery.
Okay, we're going down there in a minute.
To have a look.
So we're going to have.
But you've got the glass reflecting on there, so that's probably a better image to see if you can film it.
Lovely.
And that relates to the fishing fleets, and what was happening over the last decade is that the fishing fleets were restricted from where they could go out and fish. The boundaries were pulled in, they were restricted on quotas, and I wanted to document and record that in some way.
Yeah, 'cause
and that was done with wet photography and drawing to pull that one out. So,
it's amazing because I haven't got an artistic bone in me, like as in that, you know, maybe performing arts, but I just admire people's work and anyone who can hammer things into a wall and draw. So thank you so much, Fiona. It's lovely to meet you. Thank you.
Very much.
What's in here? Wow, this is very unusual. It's like black and white. Everything's black and white. I feel like I've just walked into a film set, a black and white room. Oh, and there seems to be a man here, but he doesn't speak. He doesn't speak, but what he's doing is he's promoting the biggest drawing in the world. That's the concept. It's not copyright, so anybody can do it, and that's what he wants. But it has to be in this style. So, like, if you look over here, it looks flat. So that's the style what this gentleman wants. And it's if you look at the chairs, it's very interesting. They look flat, the way they've been painted, and the bike. So if anyone wants to get involved in the biggest drawing in the world, then please do and let us know. This is Studio 11, and this gentleman has been promoting the day. We're now going into the studio. Gatehouse Arts exhibition studios are next to Cafe Youth, if you wanted to come in. And let's see some of the work exhibited here. We're just going to go around really quickly. This is Janie Townshend. Some wood carvings there, and some interesting, that looks like a spaceman to me. My head works in very unusual ways, which is probably why I appreciate art. And this reminds me of things that we used to do before we had computers, which is lovely, and some jewellery here, which is quite beautiful, really. It's like simple, but beautiful. And I like this because I like crows, but I want to let them out. It's called the Black Cage. I would want that. It's not 40 soon. Someone buy it for me. These are really good. Screamer, Eek. They're pretty cool. I can imagine like people would like, I like these shoes. They're lovely. I'll probably wear them down the square. They're really sweet, but they'd probably be covered in beer and on the floor by the end of the night, so maybe not. They're very beautiful though. And here's that same prince that Fiona was telling us about earlier, which is lovely. That's all framed. Some more nice things there that we can view. They'd make my head feel very relaxed, black and white. I don't know why, maybe because we dream in it. And there's some nice little prints down here as well. And this is what Pete wears when he films at night. And some nice little, this must take ages, absolutely ages. Definitely look like a male brain there. Yes, Jim Brown, that's his work. And I love this. To me, because I do have the feminine brain, this is beautiful. That's what I would like. And the shoes, please. Thank you. Yeah, so it's a really lovely, light, airy area. I like this, actually. There's a hedgehog on your bottom. That's really nice. I do like that. And the gloves as well. They look old. They look like they're antiques. Maybe David Dickinson's in here. Woohoo. I'm going to just speak to a lady now. And she's going to be talking to us about the exhibition here in this very lovely, light and airy space. Not many people know that we're here in Harlow, so it's important to come in and look at local artists' work. I'm joined by Amanda Westbury. Thank you for speaking to us on Harlow Television. Is your work exhibited here? Oh, wow. Oh, lovely. So, is this something that it looks Mediterranean? I don't know why I feel that.
It's about the earth. So I've called the series Fragile Earth, and it's kind of about the different textures of the clay and the earth and the water that you get. Yeah. So yes, I'm a ceramic artist, but I've kind of made my own pieces and then mosaicked them together to form this series.
Oh, lovely. Did you get the idea from going abroad?
I did. Some of them are places I've visited. One of them is Lake Tahoe, which is in California. And the piece of work shows the lake and then sort of all of the mountains and the ski resort around and the conifer trees.
Oh, beautiful. I'd love to go there. I've just got a really nice feeling. So like when you're looking at the piece of art, you see the place on the planet that you've been to. Is that the concept?
Yeah, it is. And also sort of the different textures and often around the seashore you get all the cracking of the mud and of the sand. So I've tried to do that in the ceramic work.
It's beautiful, isn't it? When people share with you what they see, but you don't always see it, because I wouldn't have seen that. I see it, but I kind of dismiss it and then think about, and then an artist will show you that through their work.
Yeah, I think that's the nice thing about art, isn't it? You can open up people's eyes and like you just said, show them places but in a slightly different way. Yeah. And I think often it does make people appreciate their surroundings a lot more because they start to see it with different eyes.
Yeah. Do you teach it as well? I don't know why I think that.
I did not at the moment, but yes, I taught community education for 10 years.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
But would you hold like little sort of workshops teaching people how to do your art? I think that's beautiful. I love the flowers.
I haven't done, but after today lots of people said that they really like the work, so I'm thinking maybe in the future I might do some workshops.
Yeah, I can definitely.
Maybe to kind of teach people different skills and techniques, because clay is a really lovely material to use, and I don't think you get the chance so much now. And in lots of schools they've started to close their ceramic departments because of health and safety and because it's quite an expensive department to have. So maybe the future of the Gatehouse Art is to have more workshops.
Definitely. I think that would be a great thing for Harlow. I think that's what we need, and especially the youth of today. Because I remember doing pottery at school and I loved it. But, you know, I mean, if they're taking it out of the curriculum, maybe children and even adults, I'd do it, could come here and do it.
It's very satisfying, but also there's lots of really interesting techniques, and there's lots of chemistry involved as well. It's quite technical. So I think it suits lots of people for different reasons.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for speaking to us. We've had a really lovely day here. We're looking forward to the next one. Thank you very much, Amanda. Thank you. It's been a really lovely day. I've met some really interesting, lovely people here at Gatehouse Arts. Do come along and have a look at this fabulous space we've got here in Harlow. Not many people know that it's here, but yeah, it's a beautiful July day. I'm going to go and sit in the garden. Thank you for watching. This has been Claire Harrison for Harlow TV.